This is Mac Haddo, Senior Fellow in Public Policy with the American Kratom Association. Welcome to this End Kratom Misinformation video series. This series was created for one simple reason. The American public deserves facts, not fear, when it comes to natural kratom leaf products. For more than a decade, kratom has been the subject of intense controversy. Critics have claimed it is inherently dangerous, highly addictive, responsible for thousands of deaths, and unfit for consumer use. Yet, many of those claims simply do not withstand scientific scrutiny. Too often, public policy discussions about kratom have been driven by anecdotes, misinformation, incomplete investigations, and deliberate attempts to blur the distinction between natural kratom leaf and entirely different substances. That is why this series has been created. Over the coming weeks, we will examine the evidence, the science, and the data. We will address the most common claims made about kratom and compare those claims to what researchers, toxicologists, pharmacologists, and public health experts have actually found. We will explore questions such as, is kratom addictive? What does the scientific literature say about dependence and withdrawal in the use of kratom? How does kratom interact with the body's receptors? What do the leading researchers in the field conclude about its safety profile? And why do so many consumers report that kratom has helped them reduce or eliminate their use of far more dangerous opioid substances? We will also expose one of the greatest sources of confusion in the current debate: chemically manipulated 7-hydroxymetrogenine products, often called 7-OH, too often labeled as kratom, which they are not. These products are not natural kratom leaf. They are highly concentrated, chemically manipulated substances that have dramatically altered the public perception of kratom. When adverse events involving these products are inaccurately attributed to kratom itself, consumers, policymakers, and the media are misled. Understanding the difference between natural kratom leaf and those chemically manipulated products is essential to having an honest conversation about public safety. Just as importantly, we will examine how anti-kratom activists and organizations have repeatedly promoted claims that are unsupported by toxicology reports, autopsy findings, pharmacological evidence, or the broader scientific literature. Public health policy should be based on evidence, not assumptions or speculation or fear. Perhaps the most significant recent development comes from the National Institutes of Health, where NIH has announced a human clinical trial to evaluate whether kratom can help individuals suffering from opioid use disorder. This is a landmark moment. Studies involving human subjects do not move forward without extensive review by ethics committees and institutional review boards. Before researchers are permitted to administer a substance to study participants, they must demonstrate that the proposed research can be conducted with an acceptable safety profile for those involved. The approval of this study represents an important acknowledgement that kratom deserves serious scientific evaluation, not political rhetoric. Kratom critics do everything they can to discredit any scientific information that supports the safety profile of kratom for consumers. No better example was found than Utah State Senator Mike McKell, who testified in a committee hearing that no one should believe that the dose-finding study showing kratom is well tolerated at all dose levels because it was conducted by the industry, the terrible kratom industry. It was a human study, according to Senator McKell, that was not funded by the FDA. But Senator McKell is a lawyer who apparently let his legal persona take over and belligerently declared the study was funded by the kratom industry. Then, when members of the committee appeared skeptical of his testimony, he doubled down at the end of the presentation. He dramatically held up his phone and told the member of the committee that he had phoned a friend and that he had confirmed without any doubt that the FDA kratom dose finding study was funded by industry. In just a few minutes, he converted what could have been excused as an oversight and then converted it into a bald-faced lie. I have no idea who Senator McKell called, whether it was his anti-kratom friend Patty Wheeler or Dr. Andrew Kolodny. But whomever it was, they just created the lie that he never corrected with that committee. It stands today as testimony and led to a decision by that committee and by the entire legislature premised on a falsehood that never should have been allowed to stand. Today, the stakes could not be higher. America continues to face an unprecedented opioid overdose crisis. Millions of Americans are searching for alternatives that may help them improve their quality of life, manage pain, or move away from dangerous opioids. We have seen from recent studies from Johns Hopkins University that people have been successful in doing exactly that by using Kratom to help them wean off of dangerous opioids. And I believe that's why you're now seeing this movement at the National Institutes of Health. Those individuals deserve access to accurate information wherever you may be on the spectrum of trying to learn about Kratom. This End Kratom Misinformation series is not about ideology. It is not about politics. It is about the evidence. Our commitment is simple. Follow the science, present the facts, challenge misinformation wherever it appears and whoever espouses it, and ensure that policymakers and consumers alike have the information they need to make informed decisions. Thank you for joining us as we work together to end Kratom misinformation, and stay tuned for this series over the next couple of weeks. Thank you.